I guess.
Oh, I'm completely vulgar. I understand. But at least be honest and open and understand that you said that you were good with this from the beginning. And if that's changing, okay, I get it. But give me a reason, give me a point, and actually have a conversation about it.
Yeah, totally. Like a man. That's what men do.
You're still
Yeah.
super, super skippy.
Damn. All right, let me try. Let me try getting closer to the router.
Is there a window open or something?
Yeah. Yeah, with a big old fan on.
Oh, wow, that cleared up so much. Like it sounded like you were sitting in the middle of the road.
Yeah, we have a, I forget what it's called, but it essentially creates like a wind tunnel, like in the
Yeah.
house to air from outside. It's cool.
But yeah, I don't understand why they didn't have the boss say what they felt. But that's me.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, I mean, you've known these guys, right?
Yeah, like what was cool was he was a guy who was on TV. So like that's being able to use that name to get people in makes things a hell of a lot easier.
And that was the Justin dude, right?
No, Justin was just some weird dude who was his brother-in-law that did 10 years in state.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Like I had to teach him how not to relate everything back to jail.
I was gonna say that the episodes I was checking out, it was just getting to be a little
Yeah.
much with, you know?
Oh, that's exactly what I said. I was like, that's not it, dog. That's not it. You don't have to relate everything back. You just don't.
Yeah, and people can't really relate with that. Most people haven't been to prison.
I told him, I was like, there's some people who want to hear stories. And then there's some people who are going to want to hear how somebody's mind reacts like that. But that's a very, very small subset of what you truly are as a person. So
Yeah,
talking about 5% of you as a person, you're never going to achieve anything because you're diluting yourself so small that you're never going to hit anybody that wants to actually understand or think about you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's not who you are. It's something you went through, you know. It may have made you who you are, you know, in large part, but it's not who you are, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. That's why I don't talk about I don't talk about necessarily what I did in my addiction, but I talk about, you know, how I overcame it and, you know, who I am today because of it.
Yeah,
So, same idea.
exactly. But you don't relate every single story to that. And you have more stories than just, I went to jail once.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the first story you tell isn't the reason why you went to jail, then why is it related at all?
Yeah.
You don't tell the jail stories at the end if you don't know how the person went to jail.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So let's get this started. Do you have any questions beforehand?
Um, no, we'll wing it on this first one, and then by the time we do the second one, I'll have a webcam set up, and you
You
know
are a little skippy still, just so that you know. If you see anything or anything like that, just try and kind of alter if you see a skip or something like that. Just cut your
oh,
story, or I'll kind of give you a nod to let you know that you're skipping to cut
got
back in around that same point.
gotcha, and maybe just cut me off, you know.
Yeah. Well, your video is what's skipping, not necessarily your audio.
Oh, okay,
And it seems like I'm the dominant one, so I'm able to overcut your voice. So if we do have that problem, it should be okay. But just be aware of that, just so you kind of have a general idea.
gotcha,
And
gotcha,
if it goes muted, like if you see me mute myself and I'm not talking, it's because the baby's whining and I'm just trying to keep the audio as good as possible.
gotcha.
Or we're yelling at a kid to go back upstairs.
Cool.
Do you have any certain things that you want to add or anything like that other than talking about baseball before the debate and that stuff?
Um, no, nope.
Because I did want to throw some baseball talk, even if it's like 2 minutes,
Yeah,
because that shit's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I could totally talk about that for sure.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Just so that way my lazy ass knows when I'm starting. Hello, everybody. This is Real Men Talk Shit. And holy shit, we have some crazy news. We got some new faces on the screen. We got a whole hell of a lot of shit going on. And you guys will hear a familiar voice back that's told some crazy stories. You might actually be one of the most requested guests, other than the porn star that followed you up originally. So this might be the craziest podcast we've done so far. We do have some crazy announcements that you guys will be seeing in the coming months about guests and hosts and all that stuff. And who the hell knows what's going to happen. But we have some crazy stuff going on, and this podcast is going to change. We do have our ad reads first because we do have to try and pay these bills, and you guys are going to support us by following these companies. So this first one, I got you guys a really cool link down in the description below. There is a brand new Robinhood link. So what this does is when you click on the link and you sign up for an account, you get a free stock of pretty much any company. Personally, what I would tell you to do would be to sell that stock as soon as you can and invest it in Penn Gaming, which is the company that Barstool Sports is a part of. Super, super smart to invest in them. They're killing it right now. I think they increased from like in between a $5 to $15 stock to almost $70 in the past 3 months, which is insane. Or if you ask John, he'll tell you to invest it in Bitcoin, which if you guys watch the first episode of Real Men Talk Shit, he's back. So there will be a link down in the description. I believe 1 in 500 accounts gets a stock that's above $300, which is super, super crazy. And it makes your account that much more worth it. So you guys do that. We get one as well, which is super awesome. And that grows us, that grows you guys. And hopefully it kind of adds a little bit of money to the game for all of us. There is also KT tape. I'm lying again this week because I don't have any on my neck. It's because we had to rush and get this show started. But I use KT tape every single day of my life. If I don't, then I'm going to have headaches. I'm not going to be able to move my neck as much. And God damn it, I'm a New Yorker and I talk with my head and hands all the fucking time. You can see my stupid hand waving at the bottom of the screen pretty much the entire show. So just know, use some KT tape if you have injuries or anything like that. It will help you be able to move again, and it will actually start to break down some of the scar tissue and the muscle problems that you have and help you heal a little faster. And we have another new sponsor, Alpha Defense Co. If you guys search on Facebook, if you talk about masks, everybody knows Facebook sits there and listens to you all day, every day. So if you say anything about masks, like me talking about masks right now and saying Alpha Defense Co., I'm going to get a whole bunch of ads on Facebook about Alpha Defense Co. now. This is the best ad for Alpha Defense Co. If you guys want to get a nice little coupon code or anything else, it'll be down in the description below. They give away and sell masks. I think they do like you buy one, you get 4 free. From like the premium stuff, you get like a Joker mask or you get a blue line flag or whatever the hell you're into. There's a whole bunch of those if you want to go check those out. They also have silicone rings that my wife wanted to get me, so that way I don't have this big ass metal ring on my hand. And, you know, maybe last a little longer because they do have a lifetime warranty. So they're super, super high quality. So how the hell have you been, John, now that you're back? You're muted?
I've been, yep, here we go. I've been really good, man. Thank you. All is well. I haven't been this good in my life, man. I can't complain.
That's great to hear. And I think both of us are super fucking excited because baseball has been fucking back. And goddamn, I don't know if I've seen a season that is as interesting as this season has been.
Yeah, it's really messed up because of, the new rules, which I don't fully understand, to be honest. Right off the top, I will admit that I don't really watch baseball. I watch the Yankees, you
Yeah.
know. religiously. That game the other night was insane. That was one of the best games I've seen in a long time. A
I
long
posted
time.
on the group that both of us are in about the Yankees saying, I don't want to Sox.
Yeah.
Keep us out of the bottom. And now we're facing the Rays. And it's a
That
50-50 shot, but I don't want to face the White Sox.
I kind of feel like I would rather. I don't know. Either way, we have to beat whoever's in front of us. But I don't know. The Rays are the only team that kind of scare me a little bit.
But if we beat the Rays, we're facing either the Astros, which is a redemption game, or the White Sox, which are the Padres from a year ago.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to play the Astros. I mean,
I
that's like bigger than Red Sox Yankees right now. You know what I mean? Not in the
with all
past,
the
but
shit
like,
that's been talked and everything else.
oh yeah, yeah. They shouldn't even be allowed to be in the playoffs. One, but you
Neither
know,
should the Red Sox, but they shit the bed this year, so I'm super, super happy that they're not. They couldn't even make the top 8.
thank God, right? Thank God. You got to thank God for stuff like that.
That's the only way, man. You just got to
Yeah,
keep them out of the playoffs. The
yeah.
fact that they weren't even in the top 3 and Baltimore was ahead of them for at least 90% of the season was super, super great.
Yeah, I'm super confident either way, just because like I sit here with my roommates and like, I'm like, you have no idea how deep this lineup is. Like it's insane. It's Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, Gio Urshela, Luke Voigt, like it's just nonstop. It doesn't stop. So it's not like, a lot of teams it's like, oh, it's the bottom of the batting order. Oh
The
shit,
possible MVP of the league was the 4th player you said.
exactly, exactly, yeah,
And the
exactly.
player that I think honestly most people would trade, you said 2nd or 1st.
Stanton,
Yeah.
yeah, people hate on him like kind of like A-Rod got hate in New York,
I
until
don't
like
count him. I loved A-Rod.
yeah,
I don't think that he's as good of a player as they say he is.
A-Rod or Stanton.
Stan.
Yeah, he
He's
hasn't
he's
yet.
glass.
Yeah, that too, which isn't good. But I wouldn't want him on any other team, that's for sure. This week he did really well, he did really, really well. So
I
that was
would
good
love
to
to see him on the Rockies.
oh, I live in Colorado, dude, and like
Trade us Story or trade us Arenado. Send them Stanton and throw in filler player. Give them Andujar if that's what we have to do to get it done
yeah.
and get that trade done because it's going to happen this offseason. Something with Andujar going to the Rockies is going to happen to get us Arenado.
I'm
Arenado's coming to New York.
yeah, I'm fine with that. That's fine.
Let's
Really though,
trade Stanton.
anybody in this lineup currently right now, I would be sad to see go. It's like my favorite team since like
Sanchez is going to go. Sanchez is gone.
no.
Nah,
No, don't
he's taking it over, man, for some reason.
don't say
When
that.
have we been able to say Higgy was a better catcher defensively and this year offensively?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that though. Like,
It reminds me a lot of Cervelli when he was coming up behind Posada. Just
yeah.
better defensive catcher and then just slowly became a better offensive catcher.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like complacency, like because once you become a star, like, catching is like it should be an honorable
I think
thing
it's
because you're in
laziness.
the field, you
It's
know?
laziness.
Yeah, my dad when he was coaching me in baseball, he always said he's like the catcher is the most important, person on the field.
You go right
And
up the middle. Think of it that way. The people that are in the middle are the most important.
yeah, yeah.
Catcher,
Shortstop,
pitcher, short, center.
yeah, yeah. Second
Normally,
base,
yeah.
second base is important. A lot of people forget that.
Well,
Super
it's one or
important.
the other. Normally, you'll have your captain as one of those 4 people going back.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah. Led the
But
league
it's
in average.
what's embarrassing though? It's almost more embarrassing if they lose because they have so many good players, you know?
The crazy thing is honestly, if you look at each individual team, for some reason, so many of them look stacked. I wouldn't feel bad if we lost to the Padres. I
That's
wouldn't
true.
feel bad if we lost to the White Sox.
That's a good point. Yeah, every team does have like at least like, two or three like
Now,
solid
we
players.
lost to the Rays. It's not the Rays of Evan Longoria, B.J. Upton, and like that. I might be like, yeah, we shouldn't have lost that one.
Yeah.
But if you look at the bottom, and we're looking at the White Sox, we're looking at the Padres, we're looking at the Dodgers. They're just as stacked as we are.
That's true. That's a good
There's one
point.
hole in each team.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, sometimes I think I look at it and I'm like, damn, am I being fair or am I being so much of a Yankee fan that I'm just like, we're too good. I'm even like giving other people like, uh, I
What's
don't know.
crazy is in MLB The Show, Luke Voigt and Gio Urshela were our lowest rated starters.
Really?
Yeah.
They must have heard about that and then decided to turn it up.
So I don't know how much of Tuesday's debate you got to watch. I sat there and watched the entire fucking thing. But I do
Yeah.
want to go over one thing beforehand. I kind of wanted to start off a little lighthearted before we got into this. So Mark and Justin have decided to leave the show as of right now. I don't know if they will change their mind. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, I'm a solo guy testing out a few hosts, testing out a few people to see if they want to be a part of this, having conversations, talking to some very, very large people about coming on as guests, possible hosts, depending on who I decide to bring in. So we wish them luck in their future endeavors. I don't know if I'm going to be on Awkward Fist Bump. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know how any of that stuff's going to go. There is no animosity, there's no bad feelings, and we do wish them well. We wish them as best as possible, and I will still more than likely be coming on as a guest on their show, and who knows if they'll be on here. But because of my language and stuff like that, they felt like it wasn't acceptable for them to be a part of it. Well, we're hard nosed motherfuckers over here, so we're just going to keep going on, and I'm going to destroy this shit. And you will be seeing us as the next Rogan. You'll be seeing us as the next level of Stern and that next level kind of shit. And we're going to keep going and we're going to kill it. So let's break down this fucking debate because what do you think happened? What do you feel?
So Trump, he won based on facts. If we were only looking at, who was being factual, Joe Biden lied, as he's been doing for 47 years. But Trump won on facts, but he lost on, the optics of it, because there's something in
Because
common.
of a fake question.
Yeah, well, when you're debating somebody, you lead them down a road to where that you allow them to say something, and then you challenge it, and then you allow some time to sit there and like be like, hey, look, he can't explain how I just told him how he was wrong about what he first said. But he never let him do that. He got the first part right. He challenged him, but
Oh, he hit him in the mouth.
yeah, but then kept beating on him to the point where the crowd was like, okay, he's dead. He's dead. I can't even watch this. This is like too brutal, you know?
Like he got him mad to the point where he was calling him an idiot. He was calling him a clown. Like optic wise, they're saying that Trump was belligerent and angry.
Bad, which is bad. He didn't have to do that because he has the facts on his side. He doesn't have to lie. He, you know,
I watched a couple other opinion pieces on it just to like see different points of view and stuff. And Steven Crowder broke it down, and I completely agree with this. He was being aggressive because he was doing the same thing that he was doing to Hillary Clinton.
yeah,
Just, I'm not going to let you talk because what you're saying isn't right or can actually guide you somewhere. So I'm going to sit here and attack you with the things, and you're not going to have an answer. The worst part of what he did was he didn't let the fucking idiot speak.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And then
that's exactly what I'm saying is that, he just let the dude speak. I mean, he can't like form sentences properly.
How many times does he say 200 million people died?
Yeah, and then so what he does is let Chris Wallace, calm down, don't interrupt anymore, and then when it's your turn to talk, be like, okay, we have to talk about this. Did you say 200 million? And then just leave it at that. No, nothing else. Like literally ask the question because you want to hear the answer. You know,
Yeah.
it's not enough just to say you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You have to say no. Explain I'm saying you're wrong.
All of
Explain.
the fact checks were on Trump's side. The person everybody said lies all the time. I haven't seen a fact check say Trump is wrong. Now, I could be wrong in that situation, but I have yet to see one that's outwardly saying Trump was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't think of anything, but I also
Did you
probably
see the
can't think
poll
of
by
any.
C-SPAN?
Pardon?
Did you see the poll by C-SPAN?
No.
69% said Trump won.
Really? Huh. I thought you were gonna say the exact opposite, and I was gonna have an excuse for it. So
Yeah, that's not what everybody expects to be the answer.
no, no. I mean, yeah, I would say he won, but like barely. He didn't really do any good. I don't think he won any people in the middle. The people who aren't already voting
I
for
don't
Trump.
think I don't
Vote.
think there's winning anybody. This is too late.
It's alleged. I wouldn't think so either. But allegedly, what the professionals say, the same people who said Trump wouldn't win the first time, um, they said that like suburban moms and stuff like that are undecided, which I guess they're just not paying attention if they're still undecided.
I think pretty much everybody's had their mind made up. Like, what person have you seen not say either not say their opinion or don't have one?
Not one single person.
I've been called a racist. I've been called a sexist. I've been called an asshole. I've been called a pig because of my opinions. Because in the grand scheme of things, the facts line up a certain way.
Yeah, it's a sick ideology. I mean, it comes from the colleges. I mean, if you look at even people that we went to school with, like probably none of them were I was probably the most radical person in our school, being a libertarian and like a anarcho-capitalist. But then you look at these kids that are just good kids, and now they go to college. You can guarantee they're liberal. Nobody goes to college these days and becomes conservative. It just doesn't happen. So it shows you, what are they learning? They're learning to these crazy, crazy, dangerous ideologies that just have killed millions of people and just don't work.
I posted this thing and I'll read it. And back to what we were saying about people actually going through and being super, super uh, non-conservative and being very, very liberal. I've gotten in like 5 or 6 arguments about how I have white privilege. Now, I grew up in a shitty fucking small town on the worst road, surrounded by sex offenders, drug dealers, and everything else. Trust me, I don't have privilege.
Yeah,
There's zero privilege.
yeah.
Now, if you're a wealthy person, yeah, that person that I was arguing with grew up in a very, very upper class neighborhood, and their parents probably own their own house, and they got 4 or 5 prom dresses to go to prom and everything else.
You want to hear something controversial about that? I'm going to say it, though. I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
You know what privilege looks like? Affirmative action, getting into college just because you're black, or that's a pretty good privilege. Another privilege is being able to like riot and loot and not get arrested. Um, just call other people racist and not get sued for slander or anything
And
like that.
the crazy
Those are
thing is it's not even race. It's not sex. It's not religion. It's completely based off of your political ideology and how you act. If you act logical, you're a piece of shit.
It is. Yeah. The This isn't a really good book. I won't say what book, but it's pretty famous. But it says you'll know pretty much what it says. I'm paraphrasing is, you'll know the world is ending when good is dressed up as bad and bad is dressed up as good, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
Hopefully, a future guest. Tim Kennedy continually posts this thing and has said it publicly numerous times. He said, nobody cares about what bad people do. And this is paraphrasing. If it's incorrect, just fucking Google it. You'll find it. It's not what bad people do. It's when good people do nothing.
Yeah, that's a problem we've had. That's the problem with all of this is that nobody's standing up. Just think about in all of our lives, anybody who's listening, both me and you, in life, anytime somebody's, either being a bully or just, anything, you need to stand up to it. It never gets fixed by cowering away. Addiction doesn't get fixed by, hiding in your room and pretending it's not a real thing. You have to like stand up and it has to be uncomfortable for you to make any progress. So people need to
Exactly.
stand up.
So
People will eventually, but right now they're not.
this is the thing that actually made a lot of sense to me. I've been censored on Facebook. You seem like a person that probably has been as well. Just saying, you post a lot of crazy radical shit. I would assume that you've at least been muted by Facebook, taken out of search results. So Facebook is a perfect example of socialism. You get it for free. You have no say in how it works. The guy who runs it is rich. You have no privacy, and you say one thing they don't like, they shut you up.
Yeah. I
So
like.
I posted this just because I put my balls on the table and just completely say how I feel because it's the truth. So somebody I tried to get on the show, his name's Joe, worked for Huffington Post. You liberal piece of shit. He said, you're describing a communist dictatorship. And then I thought really hard. That's the only kind of communism there is.
It's a great point. Yeah. What other type of, yeah.
You can't have anarcho communism
Yeah.
because that's not real.
True. It's a contradiction. It's a contradictory statement. Like I'm an anarcho-capitalist. The anarcho part is absolutely no government.
Yeah.
And the word literally means that. So yeah, they even now, so they just make, that's a great example. They just make things up, but they're allowed to because back to what we just said, nobody stands up, nobody corrects them, nobody says
But it,
you're.
but if you question them and say, "Hey, would you be a nationalist of any kind?" They say that's wrong
God forbid. God forbid. Yeah. God
because
forbid.
what they don't understand is communism and fascism are the exact same thing.
Yeah. And really all of it is just evil. Straight up. None of it's good.
Like if we had a burden of proof of what people say, I'm sure you would even calm down on the anarcho shit. Because if you have a burden of proof and you have to prove what you're saying with truth, facts, actual statistics to back it up, then there's a reason for government.
Actually, I'd have to push back on that. And it's you would think that almost, but it's actually almost totally the opposite. And I'll explain it. Um, Sometimes I almost want to just be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just a libertarian. I think we just do need government. But philosophically, I believe that it's evil and that it's wrong. But I can't get over the fact, like once it's almost like once you hear the truth, you can't believe a lie. Once you come to the conclusion, and it's a simple conclusion and it goes like along the lines of taxation is theft, theft is immoral,
Yeah.
and it's involuntary. So I'm actually a voluntarist too. So if it's not a voluntary action or agreement or contract, then I'm against it in all matters, and it's that simple. And it's actually a kind of a lazy way to have an ideology because you can just base everything off that, and it's always pretty much the same answer. Like, yes, I'm for that. No, I'm against that.
Well, that's kind of the same thing that a lot of Republicans are going off of, and they're becoming the morality police of this isn't right. This isn't right. We were given these rights. We need to abide by them. And kind of going back to the basic principles of what the country was founded on, instead of trying to go through and being like, well, this is the religious morality. They're just saying morality, which I never expected. You don't
Yeah,
expect a person like Trump to be like the morality police. You either expected him to be an asshole or you expected him to go full religion, and he hasn't.
yeah, because he's really not religious, which I don't bash anybody for, but I mean, he had to do that to win the nomination. He had to come out as a Christian. And listen, I don't know him personally, so I can't sit here and say it'd be wrong for me to sit here and say he's not a Christian. But I mean, his whole life before that, he wasn't known as a Christian, so it's probably safe to assume, he's not. But but yeah, it's not the government's role. It's not any other man, in my view, to really tell me how to live. The government's purpose is to serve us and protect us, and it's gotten so far away from that you know people just throw their hands up.
Oh, definitely. And I think a lot of conservatives actually agree with that point is they're here to protect us, listen to us, and abide by us. And the crazy thing is I looked, and anybody can Google this. Google your local senator and the super PACs that they receive money from. And those numbers are the most mind fucking thing that you've ever seen. Because you're not going to see millions of dollars. You're not going to see $1 million from the NRA for one vote. You're going to see $500. You're going to see $1,000 at max. If you get like the head of the House or the head of the Senate, you might hit $10,000. But those numbers really, really begin to fuck with you and make you fully understand that you as a person, if you do have money, and not even like wealth that extends past you, just normal money, if you have an opinion and you want it pushed, you actually can get it pushed.
Hmm.
But most people don't put in the effort.
No, and and you reminded me of something before. Talking about conservatives, we definitely have to have Casey on. So
Yeah, Casey needs to come back.
because he's very logical,
I
and
tried getting him for this episode, but he said that he was busy tonight. He's
yeah,
probably out sitting by a campfire telling everybody to fuck off because he's not wearing a mask.
because it's people like he's standing up. He's a good example of like a very he's putting if you think about what he's doing actually, he's actually kind of putting his future career on the line. These days it really is that serious. Like
Yeah,
the stances he's making like and so I commend him for that, but I still got to push back on some of the very
I am too. Think about it.
yeah, because
I've gone on radio shows. I've done this podcast. I've done other podcasts. And I'm not going to not say fuck. I'm not going to not say my opinion because if I don't say my opinion, if I don't speak the way I speak, just like you speak the way you speak, then I'm not being genuine to myself. I
Mhm.
can't change who I am.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
I
a white
see.
kid that's going to call the shit out.
Yeah, you have to have no fear. That's the thing. And it's not like a cool thing that like you can like sign up for one day. Like it's kind of like a way of living. Like you either live that way all the
You
time.
either give fucks or you don't give fucks. I've been
Yeah.
threatened to be shot twice. No, three times. I've been stabbed once. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you can't,
That's such a New York saying. I don't hear that a lot in Colorado.
what?
It's good to hear that. It is what it is.
It is what it is. You can't change it. It's known. There's no repercussions. There's no thoughts about it. It's just going to happen.
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have him on. We'll have a nice little friendly debate and that'll be good. Maybe you could
Yeah.
moderate the debate between us.
Maybe I could get a nice little centrist presidential candidate and we can have a three-way debate about some real shit.
There we go. I like it. I like it.
Maybe maybe the first week of November. Maybe we can
Boom.
tell Casey ahead of time and get it going, as long as
Yeah.
the week's lined up and stuff.
Maybe you guys should run for president, and you could like make me like Secretary of State or something.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, I'm just gonna burn everything to the ground, and
Yeah.
what am I running for?
I'm gonna pull a coup. Yeah. Just to burn it all down.
Run for office? Nah, I don't want it. So, talking about burning it all down, Trump hit Biden with some crazy ass fucking punches. He hit him with some of the things that all of us say, and I didn't expect it. I expected to hear how he was crooked, how he was a Hillary puppet. We didn't hear that. We didn't hear that once.
Hunter Biden. That was good. The stuff about Hunter Biden. That was
Yeah,
really good.
I
I
didn't
hope.
expect him to get hit on Burisma.
Yeah. And then I thought it
How?
was pretty cool how he, even his other son, he made like a quip because Joe Biden brought up his other son. He made it
Yeah.
seem like Trump was attacking him, and Trump's like, no, I'm talking about
He's
Hunter.
like, I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, yeah,
I think he said that without the fuck, but like, I think he genuinely said, I don't even know who that is.
yeah.
Why are you
But then
bringing him up?
he kind of slammed him on like him being a drug addict, which was
Yeah.
cool. I like that. I like that.
You got to have that
Because
accountability.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're going to be up there and you're supposed to lead us. Like, just compare Trump's children to Biden's children. If one's a drug addict, that's a fair point. Like, okay, what if you want to be the leader of the country, let's look at what type of father you are. I think that's pretty fair.
The line that hit me the hardest, and then we'll go back into the Hunter Biden shit, was I've done more in 47 months than you've done in 47 years. And
Yeah,
I did not expect that. And I was laughing my ass off for a
like
good 20 minutes.
yeah, we were like, oh, now,
I couldn't compose myself after that shit. That one hit hard.
yeah.
And then he's like, well, you didn't replace Obamacare. He's like, but I'm going to.
See, and that's like I think that's what he was trying to do, like what you said in the beginning, like how he did with Hillary, like you'd be in jail.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to have a bunch of those because they get played on the internet a
And
lot,
that
and
whole 2 minutes just didn't abide by that. It shouldn't have been 2 minute, 2 minute. It should have been, okay, answer the question. And then if you bring something up, let the person rebuttal back. And then that person has their time to say how they feel, and then let the other person rebuttal the end. You don't give a time limit, you let it be. Let it
I
be an
was just
open
gonna
discussion.
I was just gonna say I'm totally in favor of them literally getting up there and without a moderator. I don't understand why we feel they need a moderator. They're two grown men. If they're gonna sit there and yell at each other and nobody can understand a thing, I don't think they're gonna do that for 10 minutes straight. Think about any conversation or argument you've had in your life. Eventually, you guys are both like, okay, well, I can't talk and he can't talk. Like, well, I gotta shut up a little bit, and he's like, I gotta shut up a little bit. It would work out. I think it'd be fine. I really don't know why we need a
Let's
moderator.
just let Rogan do it. Give him the third one.
Eh,
Give him long form. Give him
5 years
4 hours.
ago, yeah, or like
Give
maybe 3 years ago, I would have said yeah, but his ego's too big now.
No, give him 4 hours.
Let him smoke DMT.
Tell me how much Biden wouldn't be able to withstand his thoughts after 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. I was telling my roommates, I was like, he's definitely on Adderall. And
Yeah.
as a former drug addict, I thought I had pretty good standing in saying that. I can usually tell when people are high. He seemed
Like
pretty high.
you can tell just by his train of thought difference. He was
Yeah.
complete, he was semi-concise. He did fuck up a lot of numbers. He fucked up a lot of actual complete beginning of thoughts, but he was able to actually fully speak sentences, which he hasn't been able to do for months now.
Exactly. Exactly.
But let's get rid of the notes. No notes, no earpieces. Let them talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
And
let him
Trump
fuck each
asked
other.
for it. Trump
Yeah.
asked for drug tests. He asked for no earpieces, and neither were accepted by the Biden committee. So, can we actually genuinely look at this stuff and understand what's being done?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean and that's a great thing you said that actually, because I mean, let's be honest, this is all a show. And most of this is like a television show.
It's Trump versus Kamala in all honesty.
Hmm.
And anybody who wants to vote for Kamala is going to be the people that we went to school with, not inner
Yeah.
city
Yeah. I
or
mean, either
or
way,
the unintelligent.
we're fucked either way. I mean, and what we see on TV and these debates, I mean, they literally mean nothing. I mean, it really does mean nothing. It's kind of just like entertainment, really. I mean,
What's crazy is it seems like Trump's the first president that actually has done some of the things that he set out to do.
yeah, yeah,
And he
that's
actually
true.
does have accountability with what he said he's going to do. He built a wall.
Yeah, he did. He
There was
did.
not
But
a single question about
he's
immigration.
also yeah, he's also pretended that he's a conservative though. I mean, and
No, he's
I
very, very centrist.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he with the trade wars, and you know, he plays that off as like,
How
oh,
many
I'm
people
this,
expected Donald Trump to be the person to be like, I'm sending every single person in the country a check?
yeah, he had it. Yeah, I mean, he did that with the Democrats though.
No, he came out and said it before it was a thought.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he needed the Democrats to sign that bill. Oh, he may have said it first. Yeah, he may have said it,
That's what I'm
but
saying is like, how many people actually would have put that on Trump? How many people would have said, Donald Trump is going to say this and do this? And
yeah, if
he's
they
trying
were
to force through a second.
yeah, which I mean, think about that. They shut down the economy. Americans get no choice in it, and they want to send you $1,200. You know what? Just keep it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that. It's like, you know, just keep it. You know, it's really a slap in the face to people who lost their businesses. To a
He
has
is.
like a
He's
90%
he said
recovery
he
rate.
wanted to do $1,200 per person per month per dependent as well, and that was down to $500 because Democrats thought it was too much money.
Yeah, yeah, and right now they're debating over, you know, not just the dollar amount, but like where the money goes. And it is true that the Democrats want like a lot of municipal and like state money to
Yeah,
bail out their cities, you know. And yeah, they don't care about us. I mean, 98% like recovery rate. And by the way, we haven't mentioned Trump and Melania have COVID.
yeah.
I have a theory on this.
Why? What are you
Uh,
thinking?
it's not mine, so I'll just say that I read this on r/conspiracy. Big shout out to Reddit, conspiracy subreddit. Um, that there's a bunch, but pretty much Trump mentioned during the debate that you know there's a vaccine coming out very soon, sooner than you think. So the day after he gets COVID, um, he says he doesn't get too sick, but he somehow he takes the vaccine first. It works, and boom, he's the hero. I mean, we get to reopen the economy. Proves that oh look, it's not that bad.
What
And if
happened
he
with
can,
Boris Johnson?
if Trump can get like COVID in his protective bubble, then all these other safety measures mean nothing. If the president, the most locked down person, can get it, me social distancing from you, we're wasting our time. and
Yep.
and we're letting these businesses crash. And he could go out and make that argument, like, dude, if I got it,
I saw this comment on one of that guy's posts. This Somebody commented, "Watch Trump come out and not be sick. Just say he has COVID." Now, I don't believe this, but I can see it happening just because I do have critical thinking and I am semi-intelligent. And say, hey, you crybaby Democrats, I had it. It's just a flu.
yeah, yeah, very possible, very possible. Yeah, I mean, because let's be honest, like, I I work around a bunch. Well, I live with a good amount of people who then go out and work with a bunch of people who see a bunch of other people. I haven't heard of anybody who has it. I haven't heard of anybody I'm related to. Maybe one cousin who got it, who's in New York, the epicenter.
I only
I'm
know
pretty
one person who's died.
yeah, I'm pretty sure if Trump didn't want to get it, like he could manage that, you know. But then it goes back to you know, because of that, because he can manage it, people are going to be like, well, if he got it, why do I have to socially
And how
distance? Like,
many of the check boxes does he fit? What was
oh,
he saying on Tuesday? It affects the elderly. He's above 62. It
yeah,
affects people who are obese and have health conditions. He fits both.
yeah. The crazier conspiracy going along with that on that subreddit was that Melania doesn't want to be with Trump. They want a divorce, but because of Trump's ego, he doesn't like that. So he somehow gave her COVID so that she'll die, and then he'll get sympathy from her dying and win the election.
Like, tell me these don't make great House of Cards episodes.
Yeah, yeah,
I do
uh,
want to sit down with you, possibly Casey. Maybe we'll have like one, two other people on, have a 4-person show,
yeah,
and 2 or 3 of us do conspiracy theories. Just
yeah.
have a full drawn out episode, maybe half the episode of just conspiracy theories, and then the guest and the fans choose who wins.
Absolutely. I'm locked and loaded. I'm like, I'm. They're just
Well,
pouring out.
I was asked to teach a class about the JFK assassination in high school by our senior social studies teacher.
Who was that?
Uh, Big bushy beard. Don't want to say a name because obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
him and the 11th grade social studies teacher were like, "You need to come teach a class because you can actually eloquently say how this shit happened and make it make sense."
Yeah, I wish they probably wouldn't. I don't know. Would they have let you done that though?
No, they had me set up a presentation. Like they
Oh,
were
cool.
getting ready to do it. If I didn't have a kid senior year, it was available if I wanted to do it.
Oh, I didn't know you had a kid senior year. Damn.
Graduated on principal's honor roll too.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
kids, anything's possible.
So let's go into this Hunter Biden Burisma shit. So you broke it down last time. Why don't you go ahead and break it down and kind of give us the short strokes of it, and we'll kind of throw like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm rusty on it. I haven't even thought about it in a while. But essentially, I mean, he was getting, Burisma is an energy company that's based in Ukraine, right? It's Ukraine, yeah. And the short of it, you can Google it to find the particulars. But Hunter Biden has no experience in especially energy, but really in nothing. He's like Chelsea Clinton.
He was a drug addict who didn't finish college, who
Yeah,
got kicked out of the army,
yeah,
and after he got out of jail, he got hired by this company, Burisma,
yeah.
and was not hired at like a base level job of making $20 an hour like me or you would get. He got the head of the board of Burisma.
Yeah, yeah, and then he was also involved in that. He was accepting payments from the wife of the mayor of
Moscow.
Moscow. Yeah. So I mean,
$4.3 million.
yeah, and and then Joe Biden during Obama and his presidency, that whole thing went down with Ukraine. So I mean, it's
Okay.
obvious corrupt.
So the thing that happened with Ukraine was there is a section in between Ukraine and Russia called Crimea, I believe. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the right location. I'm a complete retard. I could be speaking incorrectly about the wrong location. But there's this location called Crimea, which is in between Ukraine and Russia. It's a section of the border that doesn't follow Russian law, was part of Ukraine, and didn't sympathize with Russia. I think it was like 30% of that part of the country sympathized with Russia. And they were annexed, which means they were taken from Ukraine and said this part is now Russian territory and they will now be taxed as Russians. They are Russian citizens. What I do wonder, as an American, how would that work if we say annexed the Baja of Mexico? Are those Mexicans or Americans?
Where?
Baja, Mexico. So we just take all of Baja, Mexico. Are the people that live there Americans? Are they Mexicans? Are they citizens? Are they nationals? Like, how does that work?
I would have to say that it's based on whatever the original, wherever the original country they're in, whatever their constitution says. Because someone coming in and invading, and I may be wrong about this, but someone coming in and invading doesn't just nullify a constitution, you know?
No, but like if we accepted Puerto Rico, and obviously it's probably going to happen here at some point, and for some reason they're trying to argue DC as well. I wonder what would happen if like we added more land to us, the Baja of Mexico, whatever that specific location is, how those people would be counted. Are they actual citizens if they're adults, or are only the children citizens, or like how does that
That's a
work?
good question. Yeah, that might have to be like a Supreme Court thing or something like that, just because, obviously it's are you born in the country, and that doesn't apply in that case.
Well,
So
they would technically be born in the country because the land that they could have been born in was then taken by the United States, but they weren't born in the country when it was the United States.
that's
So
a
then
good point.
technically they would be Mexicans.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a
So
tough one. I don't know.
so as I was saying, so there was this location called Crimea that was taken by Russians. And during that time, Burisma was influencing that area and kind of interacting with Russian politics and stuff like that. And many people in the country, including the UN, I believe like 60% of the UN, 60% of NATO, wanted to invade Russia because of this. And Joe Biden and Obama said, we are doing nothing. That is a civil rights violation.
Yeah, it's obvious corruption. I mean, it's that's really all I can say about that. It's just obvious corruption. I
And
mean,
the
I
crazy
don't
thing is,
expect any less from the government.
after the debate, you don't see a damn thing about Burisma. You don't see a damn thing about Hunter Biden.
Nope. Nope. You don't see anything about Barack Obama spying on Donald Trump's campaign.
Oh, and he called that shit out too, and that was fucking awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't expect that one either.
I think if he wins, if and when, really, I would bet my money, and I probably will actually put some money on it because I like to gamble. Uh, I think he'll prosecute, um, probably not Obama. He's probably untouchable. But like some of those lower level people, John Brennan, um, who else? Maybe Joe Biden. But yeah, for spying on his campaign, I think he might
I think Hunter
prosecute.
gets hit too,
Yeah, probably, probably.
and I think Clinton gets hit.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has
I would love.
Supreme Court now. In all
Yeah,
honesty, if this election is under 5%, Donald Trump is the president.
yeah. And then we'll see a bunch of riots, and then more lockdowns
There's
probably.
going to be a riot regardless.
And I think there's going to be a lockdown regardless. No matter what excuse they use, I think there's going to be another lockdown.
I think so too.
Really do. I just want to shout out real quick, since we are recording this, I'd like to just put this on the record. Not saying that I believe even 25%, even 5% of anything Alex Jones says, but he did call this for like 10 years. He did say that there'd be like some, massive event, that there would be lockdowns, martial law in the street. Everybody thought he was like completely insane. He also called the Jeffrey Epstein thing. It wasn't just him either, but
What's crazy is
people that are crazy conspiracy theorists, they're being vindicated every day as we speak.
ex co-host Mark was like, I'm not surprised if we end up seeing a civil war.
Yeah,
If we see
yeah,
people trying to succeed, we've already seen CHOP. We've already seen Portland.
yeah,
We've seen New York's murder rate in New York City increase, I think, 140%.
yeah. I have a buddy who lives in the city, and he said that walking at night there right now is completely different than what it was like even just 6 months ago.
There was a female that I just heard the news story. My wife told me about it. I don't know exactly when it was from. Just Google it. A female was laying in bed. A guy shot a gun into the window while riding a bicycle, killed the woman dead, shot
Just
her
for
in her
fun.
neck.
Just did it for
She was
fun.
on the 3rd floor.
See, and yeah. See, that's what New York's always been capable of and what it was in the 90s before Giuliani came in the 80s and the 70s. And that's what, like, having so, New York, out here in Colorado, I tell these people, I'm like, dude, there's no cops here. I'm like, you guys have no idea, like, what even in upstate New York, when you get in the car, you drive, you see police,
I
and
saw.
you're like, damn, you get pulled
I
over.
drove 20 minutes today. Saw 6 cops.
Yeah, that's insane. You can go and it's pretty busy out here. Like there's a lot of people out here. You can literally go like weeks on end without seeing a police. It's
Okay.
insane.
So my daughter was in the NICU. We talked about this 6 episodes ago. Last episode with my wife, which talked about mental health and attempted suicides and very, very touchy subjects. Great episode if you want to go check it. It'll be in the description down below whenever I decide to not be lazy and start posting all these videos on Facebook and YouTube and shit. But we got pulled over twice on the way home one night from the NICU because we had a hole in our muffler. We drove 50 miles north, so you know where I'm talking about. And coming home, we get stopped 10 miles away from where we were. Then we got stopped 30 miles away from where we were. Both state troopers. No, one of them was state troopers. The 30 miles away was a state trooper, and then the 10 was a local PD. Both of them saw the NICU bracelets. They're just like, go, go. You don't need our problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I I I just recently I used to have I used to be doing a bunch of effed up shit, fucked up shit. Like so I probably also saw every cop that that was even there. Like if the
Yeah.
cop's there, I saw him, you know. But now I have like the total opposite. Like I used to have I have videos online. I have news
Yeah.
articles written about me. I don't know if you've ever seen the news articles and
No,
stuff
I
like
haven't.
that. Yeah, it's
You
pretty
were
crazy. I
one of
was
those
recording
maritime law
this the whole
people
time. Yeah, yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
driving a boat right now.
and it's crazy that, people nowadays will be like, "Oh, what do you love the police?" Like if I say something that defends the police, it's like, dude, you don't even, dude, when I was 17, 18, I was recording cops and bringing them to court and like, come on, dude, but now it's like a cool left-wing thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, now I see cops and I'm just like, damn, we probably need a couple more of those guys around with what's going on, you know,
Give us some good guys. You don't need the pieces of shit.
which are out there, which are
Yeah.
out there. I've dealt with them. I've dealt with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because there's one bad one doesn't mean all of them are bad.
Yeah. I'll be honest, almost all of them have an attitude problem, but that's not breaking any constitutional right, you
But I
know?
think, in all honesty, after everything they see, after everything they deal with, they're going to have problems.
Yeah,
They're going to have interaction issues, which is going to turn them sour a little bit. And when
exactly.
you do get turned sour, how quickly can you turn that off? Even if you're in a bad mood from the morning. If I wake up to a baby screaming because I'm the one who gets up in the morning, I'm in a worse mood than when I wake up to her laughing and giggling and kicking her feet and trying to say
That
daddy.
that's a great point. That's a great point because yeah, it's like what responsibility do we get to have to do we take any responsibility, the people? Like we get to just be assholes and then they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like what? It's like, and then like look at the George Floyd video. I'm just gonna say a bunch of controversial shit, I guess. It's just he resisted arrest. I mean, these people that are being killed by the police, they resist arrest.
I
It's just the
think,
facts that matter.
in all honesty, and I said this on a radio show, I've said this on this show, I've said it in every situation. Any death is sad. Any death that happens before your time, before you're sick, before you're old is sad.
Maybe.
But
What if you're a criminal and you're hurting other people?
no, I'm just saying, generalizing it. because going on case by case basis, which nobody is doing right now, you got to make a generalized statement. It's sad for anybody to die. Now, do I feel pedophiles should die? Yes. But I also feel like there should be that error of proof behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
been a lot of situations like, what was that guy in Minneapolis? Not
George
Minneapolis,
Floyd.
Kenosha. Kenosha.
Oh, damn. There's so many now. Not
He
the
was
white
reaching
dude, or
for
black dude, or the white dude.
the black dude. He was reaching for a knife in his car and got shot in front of his kids.
Jacob Blake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Accused rapist,
Yeah.
like baddest of the bad dudes. And
Yeah.
this dude's getting praised by everybody.
Same with George Floyd. George Floyd
Yeah.
was the baddest of the bad. And listen, I'm not being a hypocrite. When not too long ago, there could have been many situations where the police pulled us over, and it would have ended in me dying because I would have fought them because I didn't want to go to prison or something, and I would have deserved that. It's not like, oh, it's those people that are bad. Listen, I've been there not too long ago.
Yeah.
But as a man, I had to overcome that and become responsible, and now I can see the truth. It's not up to people to baby me. But yeah, I mean, I challenge anybody who thinks we're being racist or we're just conservative or Republicans, Trump
Not a
supporters.
single
I
person.
challenge
As I
anybody,
asked Mark,
somebody who got killed by the police who wasn't resisting arrest.
as I asked Mark, because I asked him straight out on a show, and there's clips of this, of how many times have you heard people be like, I'm going to go kill a black person? Because it doesn't happen.
Never heard. Yeah.
Now, there might be one cop in a state that's extremely racist like that. And I'm not saying that it may not exist. I'm saying in 99.99999% of cases, that's not the truth.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean,
And
I mean,
a lot of
these
this
black
time
a lot of
is
these
just
police forces, they have black people on the force. And
yeah.
cops, one thing cops love is another cop. They love another cop. They love police. They love themselves, and they have black buddies.
So
But we shouldn't even have to defend. We shouldn't even have to go there and defend the stupid attack of racism.
yeah,
Because in my opinion, racism doesn't really exist. It all comes from hate.
yeah.
Racism is a word that's used to control people, and look how well it's
Just
working to
like hate
control.
crimes. Think, if
Yeah,
I punch you in the mouth, I fucking hate you.
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't matter what you are or who you are. If I punch you in the mouth, it's because I hate you.
yeah. And the punching of the mouth is the symptom of the problem, not the actual problem. The hatred's the actual problem, right? It comes first. The hatred comes first, and that's the same thing with racism.
I don't hate you
No, think
because
about this.
I
Think
punched you.
about this. Think about actually put yourself in the shoes of think about this. You say you think that somebody hates somebody just because of their skin color. No, no, and this is why racism literally doesn't exist, which is crazy. Crazy
Oh,
thing
there
to
was
say.
people that we went to school with that were genuinely racist and hated people because of their color.
But no, they didn't hate them because of their color. That's what I'm trying to say is they hated them because of the idea that they have of their color. Nobody
Yeah.
hates a color, right? You know what I mean? Like if they hated them because something bad happened to them by a black person, and they made a judgment of all black people.
Oh, no, I completely agree with what you're
You know
saying.
what I mean?
At first, I was like, wait, no, I don't agree with it. But yes, that sentence right there kind of solidified it. And that's kind of
Here.
what I was trying to say was like, in the grand scheme of things, there's interactions with bad people, there's interactions with shitty people. And those are going to create stereotypes in your head that are genuinely going to fuck with you and make you hate everybody because of that reason.
Yep. Yeah. And then you know, you could see a white person and find a way to hate them on their skin color. You could rationalize that. Oh,
But
John did.
there isn't racism both ways. There's only racism one way.
And what do you mean by that?
Sarcasm.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, you see, I was like,
So,
you stopped me dead in my tracks. I was like, all right,
so
what?
talking about police and cops and all this shit in jail. I don't know if you listen to Logan Paul's podcast. It's one of the largest podcasts in the world. And recently he had 6ix9ine on. And I was like, I got to click this show. I just have to, because in the grand scheme of things, actually understanding how different people live and stuff like that is super, super interesting. So he brought up, you snitched. Okay. And then they broke it down. And he's like, there's not a time I wouldn't go back and do the same exact thing. And he talked about this other rapper situation. He said, so this guy watched somebody kill somebody.
Yeah.
A relevant person killed a relevant person. His cousin, the person who watched it, saw it happen, got convicted of that crime, of the murder.
Yeah.
So he asked him, do you snitch on the person you saw commit the murder and save your family? Or do you stay stationary and let it be?
I got the answer. I heard you ask this on the other guys this, and I have the answer.
Oh, you actually listened to the show that went up today. Look at you.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the answer too. Because I may not look like it, but I do have a history of being in the streets, and doing a bunch of illegal shit and whatnot, and being around people who their ethos is, not snitch. Here's the deal. If you put yourself in the situation of being a drug dealer, robbing people, you are now what they call literally. What happened?
You're here. You're
Okay,
good.
as long as my screen's messed up, but I'm here. You're in the game, so you're in the game. You're participating in illegal activity. Whatever comes your way, you need to expect it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't assume that you get to just take a back seat.
Tilt your camera back a little bit.
There we go. Sorry, my screen was messed up. I lost my train of thought a little bit.
Sorry.
But when you're doing illegal activity, you're involved in the game. You get what's coming to you, and that's a rule you have to accept. Like, if you're robbing people and you get robbed, you can't just be like, well, what the hell? I'm going to call the police. Like, they robbed me. Like, no, you're in this game of illegal activity, and the rules are, there are no rules,
Yeah.
And so it comes, the thing with 6ix9ine is that he and he sells people on this idea of he snitched because they fucked his girlfriend. They were really bad to him. They tried to rob him.
I don't
Yeah,
even
dude.
care the situation. And that's kind of what I was trying to portray in the other show, and it kind of didn't come off the way I wanted it to, was most people are like, no snitching at all. One of the hosts was refusing to even say that they would worry about themselves or somebody they care about or somebody they understand has worth over somebody who doesn't.
You know what my take on that is? I don't know the guy. I saw it, but I think he's just trying to put on a facade. Yeah, I don't want to be mean, but some people have this idea like, oh, I can't even talk about it. I've been to prison, or
I
dude,
100%, if I was in a
it's
situation like that, I would cover my own ass because, in all honesty, I don't care about what you do. I'm going home to my kids.
see that's the but that's and that's what that's it's seen as selfish in the streets.
Yeah.
It's seen as this really fucked up. But here's the thing. Here's the difference. If you covered for your family now, you not being in illegal activity and anything, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
different. You're supposed to call the police if you get robbed or something happens to you. You're supposed to protect your family. But
No,
if
I'm
you're
saying in that
dealing,
situation where, like, say my wife's the one who's convicted of murder, do I sit there and say, hey, I watched that murder happen? I do.
oh yeah, so that in the streets, that's not considered snitching. Yeah.
But that's the exact thing he used. I guess there was a rapper that was in a very, very similar situation to that is now seen as somebody who let his family rot because he didn't say what happened.
So now, yeah, I'd have to hear the complexities, but I could assume that maybe the complexities were that he personally had something to do with it,
Oh, probably.
and
All of these
yeah,
people are so dirty. It's absolutely ridiculous.
and so
But
that is
actually hearing somebody's intricate thoughts that actually was like, hey, my self-preservation is more important than the gang that I was doing the wrong shit with.
yeah.
Just
I've personally, I've had police officers, and within the last year, Not with my new life and what I'm doing now, but in the past thing, I've had them come up to me and ask me to not wear a wire, but that's what they call it. It's not a wire
Yeah.
anymore. It's a little Bic lighter. And they've asked me to do that to people to avoid charges that were built up against me, that turned out to be fake anyway. So they would have sold me out. But it's and I was in fear of my life going to prison and all that, and I still said no. I mean, it's 6ix9ine was in that life. He was doing illegal shit,
Yep.
and he put a
Oh,
lot of
he
people in
admitted to
jail.
it. And that's what was so interesting was like, yes, I did all of this stuff. But in the end, yeah, it may be cliche and it's YOLO, but you only live once.
Yeah, so I think he's a scumbag for that, but
Oh, he's a
that's yeah.
scumbag for it, but he's out and he's able to live a life that he wanted to live.
But those
So,
other people aren't.
but if they were just as deep as him, you understand what I'm trying to say? Like self-preservation is the most
That's why
important
it's a
thing.
rule. So the reason it's a rule is because that keeps it from being unfair. You know, it's unfair that those 6 people have to sit in prison, but Rich Homie, who would have been really good in prison and wouldn't have to hustle or maybe hurt people and had it sweet, he gets to come out and have a career. That's just not fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair. Why does
I
he
don't
get
think
to
any of
just?
it's I don't think any of it's going to be fair.
But that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
point. Because they're all in the game. None of it is fair.
Yeah.
But for it to be fair in that unfair environment, there has to be a rule of no telling.
And then
Well,
either everybody, what it should be is everybody burns or nobody does.
that's what no snitching is, though. That's
But
essentially what it is.
that's saying that you're worth me protecting you and not saying, hey, this person was involved too, is worth less than my existence at all.
See, that's how he's selling it. That's how 6ix9ine's selling it, and that's a brilliant way to sell it. But that's not what's really going on. He's selling it as like, oh, we would have all went down, and
No, I'm saying that's genuinely how I feel it should happen, not like if we get hit in a room of 6 people, all 6 of those people should be indicted on the same crimes until they can prove one person pulled the trigger.
But and so what snitching even does to make it unfair, the cops, whoever speaks first gets the best deal. That's like a
Yeah.
saying. Whoever speaks first gets the best deal. So the one dude who maybe even did the worst of the crimes, he folds the quickest, and then he was the ringleader of it, but he got to tell first, and now all those other people are fucked, and he gets to go free. But yeah, he was the biggest scumbag of it all. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? You know, it's like, but either way, here's the point of all. It's good that we had this back and forth because either way, it just shows that you shouldn't live that way because you're gonna get fucked.
Exactly. So I think we both kind of live by this whole motto of kind of expanding what you see and your thoughts and kind of understanding what's going on around you. It seems like so many people now are so afraid of actually expanding what they're thinking and kind of being so not even vague, very, very concise in how they think and won't expand past what they think. If even if you take names off of things, people get so surprised of what other people say in a lot of videos that'll be like, this person said this, mostly Trump. Trump was saying these racist things, and then you get Clinton on a whole bunch of stuff, or you get Biden on a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just it's so frustrating seeing all this stuff that happens and goes on.
Yeah, I mean it's a crazy world we live in. That's for sure. I'm watching it like a movie. That's what I'm doing. Not getting involved emotionally, physically. You won't see me at a protest. You won't see me looting a Walmart anytime soon. Maybe in the future, but not now. And but yeah, I just watch it like a movie, and it's a crazy
You mean
movie.
when anarchy takes over, you'll be looting a Walmart?
I'll be fighting against the government, and then if I'm not needed in that aspect, I'll be hopefully I'll still be trying to live a good life, and I won't be hurting people. But who knows?
Ugh.
Amazing.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, this world and what it's come to.
It is.
So
But there's a
we've
lot of
gone an
beauty
hour
in it,
now.
that's for sure. If you do the right thing, if you be right, do right, there's a lot of beauty in it, that's for sure.
After all the technical issues, we've now done an hour. So we're going to end this off, and that's what it's going to be. Make sure to check out Robinhood. Buy into some Bitcoin or some pen gaming, and definitely get your worth out of it because it'll help you. It'll help us. That app is just absolutely awesome. It shows you every single little thing that you could want to know about that specific thing. It'll even tell you other people's perspectives on it. So make sure to go check out that app. There will be a link down in the description below. Make sure to check out KT Tape. I can't live without it. I can't deal with these headaches. I can't deal with the pain that happens in my neck because I guess I'm a big pussy. But that's beside the point. Make sure to check out KT Tape if you have any muscle problems or had surgery. Maybe it'll help you deal with the pain, the problems, the nerve pain that you're dealing with, and kind of space that area out just a little bit. And also check out Alpha Defense Co. With all these mask mandates going in and everything else, depending on the state you live in, or if Biden wins the presidency, make sure you get your mask that you're going to fucking need now before there is no mask to be wanted. So make sure to go get your Joker mask at Alpha Defense Co. and go hang out with them because there's some cool fucking people. Their link is down in the description below as well. And if there's any coupon codes or anything else, that'll be down there with the codes. So go check them out. Thank you. As always, real shit's been talked. Have a good one. And I'll see you fucking next time.